Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the breaks and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it.
Round 18 takes us to where the concrete is fast, the corners are unforgiving, and one mistake can send a driver scrambling. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Matt Sisler for the Vortex Theory 160 at Dover. Matt, we're going to have a wild night tonight. How you doing, and what do you think about Dover?
I'm doing good, Eliza. We were talking about this before we're going live. We're hoping a number of these incidents that we've been seeing are these drivers just messing around in this practice session, because I had a race here last Thursday and it didn't look this sketchy to me as I see Tristan Helf practicing doing a repeat of last week at Iowa and spinning into the barrels on pit entrance. Hopefully not really. I'm just kidding. We don't need Tristan being sad again. But these drivers have been having a lot of trouble out here tonight, Eliza, so hopefully we don't see as much chaos as we've been seeing in this practice session.
Yeah, I'm hoping they get it all out of their systems. I know that coming out of 2 is a difficult piece of track. You're either getting very loose or you're tight and you're hitting the wall. And let's not talk about what you're feeling when you're behind somebody. You are so incredibly tight, and it's just these drivers are going to have their hands full. We went green completely last week. I'm not so sure that we're going to see that tonight, but take a look. Tristan Helf on top of the board here with a 22.632. Francis Hamilton second in speed charts with a 22.663. So times are very, very tight, but man, oh man, these guys are slipping and sliding, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a run for any driver. I know I got in a little late, but I don't think I've seen a driver do a long run yet, anything over 20 laps. And anybody who's tried has been collecting someone else's mess. So, I mean, we got 20 drivers set to challenge the monster today. The question will be, how many do we have running when the checkers fall?
Absolutely, I agree. And Savage, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. 35 months. That is just absolutely insane to me. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well out there. Great to see you there. And thank you for everyone else for tuning in. We got to bring up points. We're in practice right now, but let's take a look at how close these points are currently. Jimmy Cocker, he is locked in. He has been leading the points for I'm so many weeks. So he's got 276. Thomas Harmon, he's in second. He is also locked in 127 to the good. Francis Hamilton, another driver locked in into the chase. He is to the good of 123. Tristan Helfie's lost a spot or two. Austin Mitty in 5th. And then take a look at the cut line. It is so incredibly close. Brian Pizzikimi in 12th. And he joked to me earlier saying, I'm going to be a roadblock. So we'll see how that race goes for him tonight, because he is right on that line. And Brendan Book, who missed last week, he is now underneath by 4 points. So, Matt, these points are very, very tight.
Create chaos as Tristan goes for a spin as he was dodging the wrecked car of Austin Mitty. So there's a lot to play with here, and a lot of points implications. If you have a bad night here and you're right by that cut line, it could be a very, very bad night for you if the wrong person ends up finishing in the top 3.
It's so true. Yeah, I mean these guys are just going to be on top of each other, and with the chase coming, we only have 2 races left. We have tonight at Dover, and then next week we're going to be headed to Daytona, and that's the end for the regular season. The race after that is going to be Darlington, and that is the first race of the chase. So we got 3 D tracks: Dover, Daytona, and Darlington. It's going to be a very busy schedule out here. So we'll see what these guys are, how prepared they are. But man, Jimmy Cocker is just looking so solid out there. We've talked about this. He said he has just felt great every single week, has had a great car. And I say that as we just see pure chaos. And I told you earlier, I said, I don't think I've seen this many wrecks in practice. It's making me a little nervous.
Makes me glad I'm not in the car. Like I told you this before we went on the air, that I'm thinking of doing a one-off as a like an in-car reporter. And I thought about today going, well, maybe I like Dover. I should probably ask Eliza. And then thinking, she's not gonna appreciate having to do about like the 30 laps after the broadcast pretty much all by herself if I get taken out, because I'm not gonna want to talk to anybody. So I wisely deferred that to another day.
Yeah, I think tonight is going to be very interesting. And we have Thomas Harmon. You see him right there in the 18. He is going to be on his Wi-Fi. He is having some technical difficulties where his internet is actually out. And they say until 10 p.m. So hopefully we can keep him in the running here, because he is one of the drivers in the chase. He's locked in, but man, oh man. You don't want to be put in a circumstance of something happening and when you're this close. So we'll see how it goes for him. Real, I see you out there. Chronic, how you doing? I hope you guys are doing fabulous tonight. We have a little over a minute and a half in practice left, and then we're going to be headed to qualifying. If you guys have a guess on who is going to get pole tonight, last week we saw Tristan Helf on pole for Iowa. And I don't know if you guys remember this or saw it, but he led a lot of laps and unfortunately blew a tire and hit the barrels coming into pit lane. So hopefully we don't see that tonight.
Yeah, I hope we don't either, because I don't think the universe can take another Tristan Pole into meltdown after what happened last week. Such a good race for him too. It's such a shame because he had the control of the field at Iowa, and if everything plays out right, we didn't get a caution. Like you said, he was probably in a great spot to finish no worse than the podium, and he ends up blowing a rear tire, which I never have seen that happen before on the sim, Eliza. Not for a completely healthy Gen 7 car. I've seen occasionally when a guy's got really bad damage and the toes messed up, it can happen, but I never heard of a completely healthy Gen 7 stock car blowing a rear tire. Like, right. That is so weird to me, because it's always a left or right front, never a rear. That was weird.
I agree. We're on board with Francis Hamilton right now, and you can just see how loose he is getting through those corners. I mean, these guys are hanging down really, really low, but man, center off, it just really gets, that machine wants to spin around. And if it's not doing that and you're behind somebody, you're getting extremely tight. So these guys are going to be very, very busy with what they're dealing with. But man, practice is over. We're going to head on over to qualifying. We'll see who gets the pole tonight, get those extra bonus points here. But no one out on the track yet. But Monster, Miles the Monster is going to be busy. Hopefully we have a lot of cars in the end. I have a feeling, Matt, I'm just going to say, I think that they were just really testing the boundaries and that it's going to go green. That's what I'm going to say.
I mean, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But but we didn't have any driver spotlights today, as you noticed, everyone. So she didn't have anyone to jinx this time. And she might have just done that.
I'm sure they appreciate that too, because we had 1 or 2 weeks where the driver actually won, and then anything after that, it was just absolute jinx.
Nope. It was nope. Bad luck.
Yep. So bad.
You didn't say anything last week, and it was fine.
That's
and now
true.
we didn't. But the problem is, we didn't have one this week. And then you just said, I hope we don't have a lot of cautions.
You think I jinxed it, don't you?
You said it, not me. That's not...
Let's take a look. We have Evan Adams out here, 22.97. Brody Folliker with a 23.203, sitting third. Andrew Stanford, I mean, he has been absolutely flying tonight out there in practice and again in qualifying. He's got a 22.638, so a fantastic time for him out there. Philip Bridgman is one out on the track. We also have Dylan Robb. Luke Allen is going to go to P4. He's got a 22.945. Francis Hamilton also out on the track. He seemed to be pretty quick tonight. Jimmy Cocker, our points leader. We see him out there. And we'll see what kind of lap times these guys put down. But looks like he's taking it easy at the moment.
Well, he wants to get it out there, make sure he can get a time in. A lot of these drivers, short lap times at Dover, but at the same time, you want to be able to, you want to get around, because if you slip up on that opening lap, you need to be able to reset quickly, or not even on the opening lap, like coming off of turn 4, because while turn 2 is a real evil corner, turn 4 is not exactly nice, and if you mess up turn 4, you could be in trouble for your whole qualifying run. So guys just trying to get their times in, as Joe Turley, impressive second on the board.
How about that? 22.730. Day, I see you out there. Thank you so much for the sub. 20 months. Absolute insanity. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you. Austin Mitty out here, P7. Jimmy Cocker, just 36.58. And with him being locked in, Matt, I'm kind of thinking that he's just trying to take it easy. He's locked in. He's good to go. He's here for the fun of it. So I'm thinking, as he said in Discord earlier, he did say, I'm going to let the guys battle it out that are by the cut line. I do not want to get in the way tonight. So I think that's what he's choosing to do.
Yeah, I think that's also a little bit of self-preservation. He doesn't want to necessarily start at the back of the field, but he'd rather be out of the danger zone of the front of the pack if something goes wrong off of turn 2, because we saw a lot of guys getting loose off that corner, and it'll be the first time I think I've seen anybody try to go 2x2. Maybe it's a little bit of self-preservation on his part, but either way, a noble sentiment from our championship leader.
Take a look. Austin Mitty goes to the top of the board, 22.604, beating out Andrew Sanford, who had a 22.638. So incredibly close. And then you're going to have Tristan Helf, P3, with a 22.677. Very close in times. And then Joe Turley is going to start the 0.7s out there, as he is P4. Brody Folliker in 5th. Luke Allen in 6th. Evan Adams 7th. Matthew Gale 8th. Philip Bridgman 9th. And Jordan McGraw, so far, he is going to round out your top 10. Oh, Harmon. He goes to the top, Matt.
Now that doesn't surprise me. And you said he was right around the cut line, Eliza. Or you said you confused
Harmon's
me for a
good.
moment.
He is locked in. He's good to go.
So he's doing the opposite of Jimmy, where he's locked in, but he's decided, no, I want to win. Now I can just go for the win, and I can try to start up front. I don't need to play around and do what he and Brian Pizzikemi usually do, and start at the tail of the field. The only driver in the 22.5s in qualifying, Eliza, and I think that's going to stand.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. 13 drivers on the board. The remainder did not qualify. And here we go onto the grid here. But man, oh man, very interesting. A lot of drivers choosing not to qualify, as it is a difficult track. And I think a lot of them are a little nervous on how it's going to go. But here we go for the Vortex Theory 160 at Dover. Thomas Harmon going to be your pole sitter tonight, with Austin Mitty to his outside. Andrew Stanford in row 2 with Tristan Helf. Row 3 is going to be Joseph Turley and the 30 machine with Brody Folliker in the 42. Row 4 is going to be Jordan McGraw in the 34 with Luke Allen to his outside. And Evan Adams going to be in row 5 with Matthew Gale to his outside.
Philip Bridgman and Francis Hamilton make up row number 6 back there, and then Jimmy Cocker, the last one to take time, surprisingly in 13th position alongside Jose Ruiz, John Velocity, and Michael J. Adams, making up the next row with Craig Meyer and Dakota Wilkins on row number 9, a pair of Toyotas back there. And then rounding out row number 10, it's Matt Burgess and Dylan C. Robb.
And last but not least, it's going to be Brian Pizzakimi in that 78 machine, who is right on that cut line. He really has to hope tonight's race goes well and next week, because these are the final 2 chances to get into the chase. So he is right there. He's to the good by 4 points, but you know how that goes. It can change, and it can change very quickly.
Especially here.
Yes.
Especially here. This should be very interesting.
All right, here we go. These guys are lined up, waiting to get double file to go green for 160 laps. Hopefully it goes green. We've had such a clean season so far. It's been a blast to watch these guys, but tonight very well may change that. But you see Austin Mitty in the 77 to Thomas's outside. Pace lights are out on the pace. The lights are out on the pace car, so these guys getting ready to go here shortly. Matt, I gotta ask you, who do you think's gonna win tonight?
Oh, I have no clue at this point. With this track, with how iffy practice was, I have absolutely no clue. And wow, 2 drivers missed. This is going to be, I gotta wonder if Jimmy playing that, actually doing that. Jimmy and Francis both on pit road. They missed the start, so they're going to have to hustle. They're going to have to hustle getting off pit road, ladies and gents. As we go green, everyone in the gas, and we are underway at Dover.
Underway, and man, Thomas and Austin Mitty were just on top of each other, but here they go. We'll see how this starts off. You can see a little bit of fog out here at Dover, so this should make things a little interesting for broadcast view here. No pretty skies tonight, but man, oh man, take a look. The top 3 drivers already putting a gap with the rest of the field.
Tristan Helf trying to stay with him right now as the battle for the lead continues. Harmon led lap 1, but Mitty with the preferred line off 2, and he takes the lead back as Andrew Sanford goes for second, heading for turn 3.
A nice move. I'm kind of curious what's going on with Thomas Harmon. Is he just taking it easy? Since he is locked into the chase. No worries from him, so he can afford to take it easy. Austin Mitty, on the other hand, he's going for another win. I mean, I'm calling it that. It's still going to happen at some point this season, but it is very, very early. I don't want to jinx him, but so far he's got a lot of speed.
For sure, and the only one who's been able to stay with him the first couple of laps has been that 37 of Andrew Sanford. There's another driver, Eliza, who kind of really needs a good run, as if he's had no luck, he's had bad. Excuse me, I got this phrase backwards. If he's not had bad luck, he's had none this season here in Shake and Bake.
Yeah, he's sitting P15 in points, 42 points behind the cut line. So that is not a place you want to be, and he just looks like he is going to be a solid driver tonight at Dover. I mean, he was great in practice, and so far he's got a nice run here in the first several laps.
Yeah, and then definitely Tristan Helf now up to third. Not a surprise to see that 38 go forward. He's been very quick on the short tracks here this season in Shake and Bake. So for him to be able to use the short track package to charge up early and get himself into relatively clean air in P3, not surprised at all that the 38 showing off speed here early.
Take a look at this top 2 drivers. They have started to get away. About a second and a half back is going to be third of Tristan Helf, but Austin Mitty and Andrew Sanford. Now the question is, are they taking care of the tires? And the driver that is behind, let's say Andrew Sanford behind Austin Mitty, he is going to get that draft behind him, and it is really going to make him tight. So I'm kind of curious how it is feeling out there. Will he try to take a separate line in those corners? You can see him up just a little bit from where Austin Mitty is.
Yep, he's You can see Sanford just trying to find any amount of clean air, and I know our fans are probably sick to death of us saying dirty air, but again, this Dover is going to be a problem for sure, and Sanford looking high on Mitty. I don't know if he was trying to go for the lead there. He doesn't stay side by side off 4, but just trying to find any amount of clean air. Now he ducks to the bottom into 1.
Take a look at that. I mean, a lot of these drivers have already used that and just taking that clean line, and you can see what a run they get. Now, is that going to cost them some time behind? We'll have to figure that out, but right now they have still gained about 3/10 or more over the drivers behind. Tristan Helf is about 2 seconds back, and man, they have their hands full. Take a look at Brody Folliker. He's right behind Tristan Helf. Evan Adams, he is up 4 spots from where he started. He sits P5.
He's done a very nice job. It's not easy to pass at Dover in anything, let alone these Gen 7 stock cars. Great job by Evan to get forward early, get to the top 5, and kind of just try to settle it and ride right there behind a couple of the best guys in Shake and Bake. If you're going to watch 2 of them to try to figure out how to keep your car under you as they go side by side off of 2, those are 2 of the guys you want to watch.
Brady Folliker underneath Tristan Helf, and we saw a really bad mishap from Tristan Helf, wrecking into pit lane after his tire blew, leading several laps. But Brody Folliker is going to take over that 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Andrew Sanford is still in the lead, and he's starting to put a nice gap over Austin Mitty. So whatever his car is doing tonight, it is working for him. Now let's hope he can keep it that way. Lap 12 of 160, a ton of racing left. And Matt, I want to bring this up. What kind of pit stops do you think we're going to see? I know we talked about it earlier. Are we going to see a 1-stopper or maybe a 2?
I mean, I think the answer to that is yes. I think we'll see people trying a number of strategies. I would hope nobody needs to do 3 unless we get a dreaded yellow. But if it stays green, 1 stop on Thursday in my Thursday league. 2 guys who 1-stopped it, saved their stuff, and made it past halfway in a race that was 10 laps shorter than this, but still a challenge. They ended up going 1-2, and they did it by about a third of the racetrack here at Dover over the 3rd place car, and they only had 4 people on the lead lap at the finish, and I was 5th. So you can garner, probably I was not the most happy camper seeing the leader finish. Me finishing 1 lap down in P5. But and I was a 2-stopper, so 2-stop might be what people have to do, but based on that experience, probably if you can keep your car under you, 1 stop would probably be a good idea here, given the fact that you're crawling on this pit road. You're not even going full minimum NASCAR speed at Dover, which I think is 40 or 45. You're crawling at the 35 miles an hour by iRacing, so you really do not want to have to make extra stops if you can avoid it here.
It's so true. So I strategies might change a bit tonight as they did last week. We'll find out. But Andrew Sanford, he is just over a second ahead of Austin Mitty. So nice little gap for him. Brody Folliker starting to catch Austin Mitty. He's running him down currently. Evan Adams not too far behind Tristan Helf. He is falling back a little bit as he sits P5. Luke Allen, he's going to lead this next pack of cars, followed by Joseph Turley, Thomas Harmon, who we saw, I do believe he was in 2nd. He is now in 8th, Matthew Gale 9th, and Jordan McGraw 10th. Jordan was in a whole different pack, so these guys have now come back together, but man, single file for the most part.
Yeah, kind of surprising that we're seeing that even in the corners, and obviously shortest way around the racetrack is the fastest and usually the best one for saving your stuff. Not always the case. Some guys can find a way to, save running the high line, and I've never understood that. I can't do it. But yeah, everybody kind of running in each other's tire tracks, which we were talking about the dirty air, Eliza. It's surprising that they're doing that for the most part. We're seeing a little variation deeper in the pack, like with Jordan McGraw, Philip Bridgman, and John Velocity. They were all kind of running a different lane through 3 and 4 that last time by, but man, oh man, I'm surprised that people are they're all in the train. Like, they're
Yeah.
all trying to, they know they've got to save and make it. Like, I think all of them know that, or at least suspect that one stop might be the play.
Some of these drivers in this pack are really good at trying to save the fuel for the long haul. Jordan McGraw, Jose Ruiz, John Velasquez, a lot of these drivers really, really solid in doing that. So we'll see how that plays out. But man, I love the different strategies and what they do. I mean, just so many of them as we saw last week. But Andrew Sanford, Matt, this is insane. Almost to a 2-second lead. Brody Folliker out there in second. Austin Mitty fell back one. He is sitting P3, and Evan Adams having another solid run. I mean, I feel like we talk about Evan a lot lately. He's having those great consistent runs, and he's already going for a pass over Austin Mitty, who is not going to fight him. Evan Adams takes over P3.
Evan has come on. My marbles are full of mouth tonight. Excuse me. Evan Adams has really come on as of late. He's done a very nice job. He was one of the front runners at Iowa. He's starting to really click after a little bit of a rough start. He's really found his groove, and I believe, Eliza, is he up with the points fight for the chase, or is he outside it?
He joined later, so he is, well, no. He is in there, P11. He's up 9 points, so he is right ahead of Brian Pizzicchini. Very, very tight out there. I was thinking of his father, Michael Adams, who is not in the chase for it. So, but yeah, Evan he's right there.
And Evans had he's just kept showing up, kept the consistency going, and just slowly found the speed. The last couple of weeks, he's done a very, very nice job, and up like 6 positions since the drop of the green flag to be running on the podium again.
Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. All right. We got to take a look at this lead once again. Brody Folliker, he is closing that lead down. I mean, we're almost to 2 seconds right there. We are now to a second lead over Brody Folliker, so he is closing that gap. Now, a great question coming from chat. Chronic says, 2-second lead, are they fuel saving, or is it like Hendrick versus front row? This is where strategies can definitely vary. I can tell you these guys drive for the same team, so there's probably a lot of team communication. Some might be trying different things, or maybe Sanford just overdrove it a little bit. We're about to soon find out, I can tell you either way.
Yeah, and we'll definitely see it. You can run really hard for like half the run, for like 30, 25, 30, 35 laps. But the fall off, when it hits, it makes you feel like you suddenly have no right front. You feel like you're just plowing tight in the corner, and that adds on to the problem here at Dover, where turn 1, you feel pretty solid getting down into it. It feels pretty good. But turn 3, especially in the Gen 7, where we got this stiff suspension, it just bounces, and you have to really fight it to stay on the bottom, or you're going to plow straight up, even without the tire wear. So, and Sanford could be just, like, he got out to the lead, realizes, okay, I really need to make the tires last here. I need to back down. And that's just what we're seeing is Brody closes in, and consistency will prevail in this car. If you're just consistent on the tires, eventually the guys who bolt out in front of you, unless they can find a way to save enough to where the tire fall off isn't as bad, those guys will fall back to you. It will happen with this car if you overpush.
Absolutely. And the tire wear does go quite a bit. You lose a lot of time once it does, and Karma comes in. He says tire go boom. He's not wrong here. You see Day One says, let's go Brody. We've got a Brody fan in here. He is up 4 spots, P2, and man, he is closing that gap quickly to under half a second currently. Andrew Sanford has led several laps, has looked so solid. Unfortunately, I'm just not sure how many more laps he can lead. So far, it's been 23. How many more can he squeeze in there?
A great question. Again, if he's backing off to try to save the tires, he may choose to just when Brody gets there, as Brody and takes another about half a tenth off him on that lap, he may just choose to let Brody go, knowing that he's got a safe tire. And we don't know, do we? Like, all we see is like how quick a guy goes versus how quickly they fall. We don't know up here in the booth how the car's handling or tire wear or anything like that. So all we're seeing is Sanford fall back, and might have just, did he just blink out? Oh no, there he is, he's back. That was
not
scary
what you want to see, right?
Not what you want to feel, especially if you're you don't always feel it either when you're the driver. Like,
right.
When you're the driver and have that happen, you don't always know. But if the worst feeling is when you're leading and you're the driver and you know you just had an internet blink, because you just sit there and go, oh no, don't do this to me now.
Yeah, you don't know when the iRacing gods are just going to be like, that's enough of this, and kick you out. So hopefully you can stay in there. And we do have another driver that is just driving on Wi-Fi right now. That's going to be Thomas Harmon, who is sitting 7th currently. So hopefully he can remain connected into the session. But, we haven't talked about in a while, Francis Hamilton and Jimmy Cocker, who are 20 and 21st. Both drivers are locked in, and I'm thinking that my sneaking suspicions were correct, that they're just trying to stay out of the way. They're locked in, good to go, and Jimmy did say in Discord earlier, I am not trying to get in the way of these drivers that are racing to get into the chase. I'm staying out of the way.
And it's a noble thing, but also I would have expected him to try to push and maybe build the gap a little bit more, but I don't know if them starting from pit lane was the best idea either. Like, especially at Dover, where the lap times are in the 23-second range, and you're gonna have to crawl down pit road to get to the exit. I don't know if that was a planned thing for both Jimmy and Francis or what, but man, they are their pace is about with what the leaders are doing. The leaders really aren't gaining a whole lot of time to them. Like, they're into one with the leaders a lap ahead of them off of 4 right now. So if they stay where they are, they could be they will be okay to stay on the tail of the lead lap. But if the leaders get there, oh boy.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens if they do catch up to them. But lap 39 of 160. I gotta say, I agree with Karma, who says you can't really go a fuel run here. Tires hit 0 first. And I agree. I think the fuel that you can get here is 75, 80, around that range. And there's just no way they're going to get that out of the tires here. We saw a couple of drivers blow the tires last week. And I think if they try to push it, we're going to see that again this week. And you definitely don't want to be in the lead and have that happen. So hopefully Sanford, if he was pushing it, he wasn't pushing it too hard, and he can stay out what he needs to. But some of these drivers, we'll see who the first one's going to be to come in.
Yes, and if it's going to be a 2-stop strategy, you're probably going to see drivers going around lap 52 to 55, as I put on my Larry Mack hat and glasses. Just if we're going to play the strategy thing, you're going to go to pit road for a 2-stopper around lap 52 to 55. Try to split it halfway. New tires matter a lot. Oh, Sanford hit the wall off 2 as Brody makes the move for the lead into 3. Andrew drives it in, but I don't think it's good. He's coming back up high. Trying to get the run off 4, side by side. Sanford still leads at the line, but how long can he stay there? If he's trying to, if he's saving, I'd say back off of. Oh, Brody. Not another FIWB 2-car wreck for the lead. We already had one this season.
This is where those tires are going to wear down. You see these guys battling it out. And that 29 is fast approaching. Going to try to make some work of that 37 machine. Meanwhile, Brody Folliker is currently in the lead over teammate Andrew Sanford in that 37, who is starting to fall back after that sharp hit to the wall. And it looked like he might have just had another tap to the wall. We'll see how that goes. But, man, different outcomes out here, and we've seen a couple of different leaders. Lap 45 of 160. If you're right, they should be going in the next 5, 6 or so laps. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, Evan Adams with a run off of 2 this time, and you could tell the way I went on board with Evan Adams off the corner, you could tell by the way he gained that Sanford really had bailed out of the gas to not hit that wall for a third straight lap. And personal experience right there for me from Thursday night, where I drove it in on the inside of somebody into 3, finally got him, and then they just tried to cross me back over. Good job by Evan to fight back and hold on to P2 as he now looks at the tail of Brody Folliker, our race leader.
Jimmy Cocker has 5 wins so far this season, and Brody Folliker, I want to say, I'm looking back, does he have a win this season? Because I'm not seeing that. He does?
Michigan.
Okay.
Because it was the week after Coda where Jimmy caught him and spun him.
That's right. There he is right there. So he does have a win this season. I know he wants to have another one. He is our Xfinity champion from 2 seasons ago. This guy has a lot of speed in whatever you put him in, and a new paint scheme to boot tonight. So great to see him with the speed out there. He's just under half a second ahead of Evan Adams. Meanwhile, Andrew Sanford has fallen back to 3rd. I kind of want to go through the field here. In P4, it's going to be Austin Mitty with Tristan Helf rounding out your top 5.
In 6th place, a little bit further back, is the field now actually starting to spread out a little bit. That train of cars falling apart. Joe Turley rides in the 6th position, under threat from that number 18 of Thomas Harmon, who's looking to his outside off of turn 2. John Velasquez running in 8th. Matthew Gale, a very solid run and definitely helping his points hopes, running in P9 here at Dover, with Luke Allen rounding out the top 10 just ahead of Brian Pizzikemi and Jordan McGraw.
Yeah, Brian Pizzikemi gaining 10 spots from where he started. In fact, he started almost last, if I'm not mistaken. So
Last.
Yeah, very, very good gains for him. Jordan McGraw in 12th. We're going to have Michael J. Adams in 13th with Jose Ruiz exactly where he started, sitting 14th, and Matt Burgess out there in 15th.
16th, we have Craig Meyer. 17th, Dylan C. Robb. 18th is Dakota Wilkins. Right now, 19th, Francis Hamilton. 20th, Jimmy Cockers. They've gotten around the number 24 of Philip Bridgman. Definitely looking like he's starting to really struggle on his tires. He makes up the tail end of the field, and he's only about a straightaway in front of the leaders. So he better hope they don't catch him, because that'll be him going a lap down here at Dover. And if that happens before you pit, you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, something you don't want to see, but I'll tell you what, that paint scheme from Philip, I absolutely love that scheme. Really, really solid. But back to our leader, Brody Folliker. Take a look. He's got some company behind him, and it's going to be Evan Adams, who has made some nice gains. 7 positions gain for Evan Adams, who is trying to get his first win of the season. And I'll tell you what, a rookie for us in SnB, but man, he's come in here with a lot of talent, a lot of speed, and a ton of consistency, which has paid off for him.
Absolutely, and he's one of those drivers, Eliza, that we've said as the season has gone on, it's going to happen for him at some point. It's going to happen for him. We believe it with Austin Mitty. We've also started to believe it more, especially the past few weeks with Evan Adams. And right now, the way he's been able to stay with one of the best in shake and bake and Brody Folliker, not saying he is going to, but he's putting himself in a really, really nice spot.
I agree. I think he's one of those drivers that we will see a win, as you said. And as you mentioned, Austin Mitty also. Tristan Helf last week, very, very frustrating week. Led a ton of laps, blew a tire, hit the barrel. So he's looking for some recovery this week in the points, but he's sitting there really solid in points. I want to take a look. I know he did lose a spot or 2, but he is out there P4 with 114 to the good. However, he is not locked in, so hopefully tonight he can make that happen.
And with where he's running right now, P5, he should probably put himself in a good spot to clinch without barring some unfortunateness out here at Dover. Without Miles biting him, he's probably gonna be like in a position where he's either just got to start at Daytona and he clinches a spot, or he will clinch tonight. He's had a very, very good, very, very solid season. One of our few like multi-time winners. I believe he has 3 wins on the season, or 2 wins on the season. Excuse me.
Yeah, he does have a couple of wins out here, and I'm looking at this track map, and these guys are definitely spread out. We have the top 3 guys in a pack here, and then you have 21st position, which is going to be Phillip, and then you're going to have Austin Mitty, who is leading that second pack. So these guys definitely starting to really spread out. He's got Tristan Helf right behind him, and then Thomas Harmon. He is on his own little island sitting P6 with John Velocity and another group out here. So these guys, this track, there's just barely any part of the track that has no car on it. So these guys really spreading out.
For sure. Only right now as the leaders enter 3, it was only out of turn number 4. It's about the length of the straightaway from 20th place Dakota Wilkins to our race leader Brody Folliker. And I don't know about tires, Eliza. I thought we were going to see guys pitting around lap 50-ish. It's where I had to come down in my Thursday league, and Philip Bridgman has put that out over the radio. He is coming in. Obviously, his tire's fading really bad in that 24 machine, so he's coming down, and no time on the last lap, so maybe a blown tire for that 24, because he might have... I gotta check our results here. Yeah, meatball, no damage on the 24. I didn't see him hit the wall, so maybe a blown tire on that Chevrolet.
Man, that's brutal. Yeah, his car looks in good shape, so it's probably a blown tire, unfortunately. You just hate to see it.
We missed a pass for the lead. Evan Adams got around Brody Folliker and is pulling away here as we work lap number 63. How about that? Brody took the lead from Sanford and then pulled away a little bit. Adams caught them both when they started fighting. And now it's Evan Adams to the point at Dover.
Yeah, how about that? And I know the last couple of weeks he's been in the booth after the races, which means he's been on podium. I asked him how he felt about Dover. He said, it's one of those tracks I have not practiced, I have not been to, but apparently he put in the time as he said he would, and he's out here in the lead, started 9th. I mean, huge gains. I mean, the only other person that has beat that is going to be Brian Pizzichemi, who is in 11th, gaining 10 spots. So great job to Evan out here. Now we'll see what his tires can do in the long run, but we're in the long run, Matt. We're lap 65 of 160. There's no way I can imagine. Maybe they will hang out and just do a one-stopper, but they kind of surprised us last week too. We saw a couple of guys do that, and it worked out. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I did that race I did, Eliza. The guy who went the furthest, he didn't win, but he went 92 laps on his tires in a 150-lap race. So it's definitely possible. I don't know fuel if we can go quite that far, but you can definitely... If you take care of the car here, and a lot of these guys seem to be under-driving early, because the instant you barely overdrive this thing, you start absolutely obliterating the tires. These cars love to eat their tires, especially that right front. So if you take a lot of these guys under-driving, taking care of their stuff, they might make the halfway point without needing to come down. And I know if we get to the final few laps where... like lap 75, in that area where you see guys rapidly dropping off the pace, they'll probably just try to limp it all the way to the halfway point because they do not want to have to stop again. I don't think you can make it on fuel short of about lap 78, so you're going to want to at least get to there, but probably halfway is the target for a lot of these drivers right now.
Yeah, I would say... with the amount of time that you lose on these laps, you don't want to push it further than that. If I'm going to go halfway, I'm not going much further than halfway. I'm not hanging out to see if we're going to blow a tire. I'm getting myself in there, taking 4, and getting right back out. I mean, you have no time to mess around, and with how much tire time that you lose with these tires, it's just imperative that you get in as soon as you can, feel comfortable with it, and get out.
Absolutely, and it's also how much time you lose on pit road. You mean, again, crawling at 35 miles an hour on this pit road, it feels like it goes on forever. It just drags on so long. So you definitely want to do what a lot of these drivers are doing and try. Right now, you're within 10 laps, or our leaders are within 10 laps of getting to that halfway point. They're going to want to make it now. And I know that if we start to see guys falling off, with Dakota Wilkins pitting from P20 in front of the leaders, he drops to the apron to get out of the way. But yeah, everybody who can. And Joe Turley also on pit road. Turley couldn't make it either. He's down as well.
Yeah, you see him making his way down pit lane. And I also noticed from Evan Adams, he is shifting down. A lot of these drivers said possibly that in the long run, they will be shifting down, trying to get that car load down and keep the RPMs up and get it turning for them. And you can see it's working for him, but Brody Folliker, he's right behind him, so I'm not sure how much longer that's going to work. You can see him try to make a dive down to the inside. Not going to have enough, but Brody is right there. He wants that lead back.
Yes, he does. And I noticed earlier Brody was not shifting in the corners. He's actually, as we go down into 3, waiting a super long time to get down to 4th gear there. But he waited till right now to start shifting. I don't know when he started shifting, but he's doing it now here at the end of the run. The other drivers around him, Adams and Sanford, were doing it earlier as Brody bounced it off the chip. Be careful, Brody. Don't want to repeat Carson Hocevar's mistake from this weekend, especially when you're running second.
Oh, no, you don't. You can see that 3 machine, Michael Adams, in the mix here. That is not for position. Nope. Our leaders safely get on by here, but both our front drivers are shifting down. I'm kind of curious if it's going on deeper throughout the field. It feels like Brody, once his car wanted to kind of diamond the corner, he shifted down to keep that down below that 29 and get that power off. But it's working for him so far, but he's making his way back up to that back bumper once again.
Yep, and looking back, Tristan Elf in 4th, at least this lap, not shifting on entry to 1. I'll stay on board and take a look if he's going to go do it into 3. Nope. Yep, he does it into turn 3, so halfway around. And I can understand that, especially in turn 3, wanting to do that, just because turn 3 has that, surprisingly tougher entry, given that this is like a symmetrical racetrack. You would expect the entry to both corners to be identical. But turn 3 really likes to throw drivers up the hill. So not a surprise that Austin is downshifting on the entry into the corner. Although or Tristan, excuse me, not Austin. Austin's just riding around in 5th right now, behind him in P5.
Yeah, take a look at Tristan. I mean, you can see turns 3 and 4, heading into 3, there's so many big bumps. I mean, you can just see his car skidding around. Take a look at this, and you'll see white lines going through that dark spot. Those are those bumps that these drivers are hitting. And that white spot, they're up in the air right there. So pretty wild to see how much they have to hold on to that. So they're shifting down, trying to keep it underneath them. And then coming out of 2, you're either very, very loose or you're tight and about to hit the wall. It feels like there's no comfortable lap here. 3 and 4 is going to keep you busy, along with 1 and 2. But here we go, another driver going into pit lane. That's going to be Andrew Sanford. He makes it on in safely. He's good to go.
First one of the leaders going as early as he could, lap number 80. Brody Folliker, meanwhile, takes back the race lead from Evan Adams. Kind of sat there for a little bit, maybe cooled his tires down, and Brody says, nope, I want my lead back now, and takes it back as we work lap 80, coming to lap 81 here at Dover.
20 laps led for Brody Folliker, having a solid run. He does have a win so far this season. Looking for win number 2. We'll see if he can't make it happen, but man, the guy has talent, and I know he would love to see another win here before the season ends. And we've had 18 races this season. I don't know where the time has gone, but it is quickly coming to the chase, and we will crown another champion. It's going to be an exciting battle for the championship, but man, we still got a chase to get to, and the regular season is going to be ending, and it looks like Jimmy Cocker might be the champion.
heading for the regular season, end of regular season. You better be talking end of the regular season, Eliza, not the full one, because that's getting a bit ahead of yourself, giving the Denny Hamlin car a full season championship when we know how Mr. Hamlin does in any format of a playoff.
It's true. It's true. And yes, end of the regular season championship. So we'll see if Jimmy Cocker can get that. And he says he joked around. We have Tristan Helf. He is on pit lane, so he is safely in there. Decides to take it in. Does not want to see exactly what happened last week, but our leader Brody Folliker, Evan Adams stay out. But Jimmy was joking around saying, if I win the championship this season, I'm retiring.
Oh boy, yeah. He's gonna try to emulate. He's gonna try to do the Denny Hamlin, win it all, and then walk away when he's won. I don't think Jimmy will. No, he won't. He likes this too much to ever. I won the championship. Okay, now I'm done.
Yeah,
no,
I don't see it.
Nope. You know, Craig Meyer also on pit road. Number of drivers coming down.
Yeah,
guys who made that early stop, like, it'll be interesting to see how well the leaders can try to close them back down once those two leaders pit. And take a look, Brody Folliker really did a good job saving up his stuff. Evan Adams, I believe, is coming in this time, but Brody, yep, Evan Adams down, and he lost a second in that last lap alone. Gets it down, what was up, that number 29 machine, and gets it down to pit road speed. P2 in. Harmon follows him in as well.
John Velocity, another driver down pit lane, and so far these guys have had a smooth entry for the most part heading into pit lane. Evan Adams, you can see him right there. Brody Folliker, though, he is still out. Austin Mitty still out. Jordan McGraw. Ooh, Austin Mitty, there he goes on in. Man, you can see the smoke coming out of the rear on that one, but he gets in safely.
Yes, he does. A nice job to get that number 77 machine down to pit road speed. No black flag, so safely on in there. Good job too, because this Dover's a deceptively difficult pit entry. Our leader does finally come down. Lap number 88, Brody Folliker brings the 42 to the attention of his crew.
Jordan McGraw will be the new leader once he comes around, and he's got his teammate Jose Ruiz for FTR. These two are notorious for hanging out there as long as possible, trying to get those points for leading and seeing what they can do strategy-wise. Solid run for the chase. They are in the top 10, so great to see for them out there. Francis Hamilton going to be in third, and Jimmy Cocker out there in fourth, who we saw did not start with the rest of the field. They hung out.
Francis.
Yeah.
So nice job for both of them. They sat at the back, rode, and kept their tires under them all the way to this point. A really nice job by those two FIWB cars. I figured when they missed the start, Eliza, they were going to try to just ride to keep their tires under them, and look at where they are now as we work the end of lap 90. They're running second and fourth.
Yeah. Great gains for them for sure. Matthew Gale making his way down pit lane. Meanwhile, Andrew Sanford behind him, P7, and he was one of the drivers to go in earlier. Brody Folliker going to be behind him in 8th. Tristan Helf going to be 9th, and Evan Adams out here in the field, P10.
P11, if I can find him, is P11. Austin Mitty has already made his stop, as we saw earlier. Thomas Harmon, P12. John Velocity currently holding P13. 14th, Luke Allen, and 15th place is Matt Burgess, who's also already made his pit stop.
Dylan C. Robb is going to be 16th, gaining 4 spots from where he started. Michael Adams in 17th, Philip Bridgman 18th, Joseph Turley in 19th, and Craig Meyer in 20th.
And then 21st on pit road still actually is the number 44 of Dakota Wilkins. Not sure what happened with him, but he's been sitting there for a little bit, Eliza, so he might have had a problem and just decided to take it to the garage. He's been sitting there since lap number 70, it looks like. So
yeah, it says 8 minutes. Yeah, I'm thinking so. He had a lot of damage, 8 minutes so far that he's repairing, if he can at all. We'll see what happens if he can get back out there. But Jose Ruiz now leading the field. Jimmy Cocker in second. Francis Hamilton making his way on down pit lane along with Brian Pizzakemi.
And they're going for the very big overcut, hoping that the tire wear, like for the guys who've already gone in, like every lap that they're in, that they gain right now, it's gonna be a lap less they have to go, and they can push quite a bit. The problem will be, like, it's still 60 something laps. Like, you're looking at Jose Ruiz working lap 96. If he pits now, he's still got to go 65 laps. So it's not like, oh, I've made it, I can just go full attack. No, because you will blow the tires off this car in about 40 if you're trying to go full bore. So guys got to be careful coming off pit road.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I did not think that they could go this long. Talking to the drivers, they were saying probably a two-stopper. No way they can make it a one-stop race here, but indeed, they proved themselves and myself wrong. So they're doing a great job out there. And so far, a very, very clean race. Knock on wood, lap 97 of 160. We've been clean and green once again.
Absolutely, as Jimmy Cocker finally brings the 11 car down pit road, brings it to the attention of his crew from the second position. Very good run for Jimmy to make it all the way, and our leader, Jose Ruiz, he's going to come in and give up the lead here in turns 3 and 4 as he almost loses it on pit entry, but he gets it down to pit road speed, and he's safely on pit road.
Jordan McGraw going to be the new leader once again, and he is in a nice little group here. You got Matthew Gale right above him. He has not gone in. Meanwhile, everyone else around him has. So you know that he is not feeling too good on these tires. Probably going to come around. Coming around this time.
Yeah. I was wondering if he was going to try to go all the way to 100, but nope. He is down pit road right now. And he was almost a lap in front of everybody else by playing that strategy. And I mean, that's why you play that strategy, because God forbid we get our first caution in like 100 and something, in like 300-ish laps of race, like actually about 250 laps of racing over the last 2 weeks. You get a caution and you're the leader out front, you're going to trap about 90% of the field a lap down at Dover, even with them on newer tires. So Jordan was trying to hope for that, trying to play the Michael McDowell strategy. Unfortunately, didn't pay off.
I want to say that he also got a black flag for speeding onto pit lane. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I do see a black flag next to his name. So really unfortunate to see for him.
Yeah, and he was going for that huge overcut. He's going to have a long, long road to try to come back now from here after that. It's a pit road penalty at most tracks is already a killer. Here at Dover, with your lap times in 23 seconds, it's going to be all nigh on impossible to get back, but you know, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened indeed, but take a look. Brody Folliker back to the lead. Andrew Sanford in second, about 3/10 back. Meanwhile, Tristan Helf is going to be about just under a second, with Evan Adams directly behind him. We have a two-car battle right here, and I got to figure out, is it? No, it is not a battle for position here, as I do believe that it's Matthew Gale, who is currently sitting 13th. Having a fantastic run out here at Dover. It's a very challenging track, but these guys have done a phenomenal job.
They very much have. Like, we were wondering when we saw practice be an absolute crash fest if these drivers would be able to handle it, and they've done a very, very good job of it. Matthew Gale, first car off the lead lap here, about like 3 seconds behind our leader, Brody Folliker, at the moment. Yep, I'd say about 3 seconds behind our leader. Brody exiting turn 4 right now, with Gale coming off the corner now. So we have, if he definitely wants to get that 67 car back on the lead lap. Again, if we get the dreaded caution, Gale would rather be on the tail of the lead lap and able to come down with everybody else, rather than take either the lucky dog and have to start from the tail, or have to take the wave around and be out there on about 20-something lap old tires.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for sure. We'll see how that goes for him. But take a look at this battle for second, third, and fourth. I mean, just playing musical chairs here. Tristan Helf moved up to second. Evan Adams and Andrew Sanford swapping positions out here. Evan just running really, really hard. I'm kind of concerned whether his tires can handle that for much longer. Andrew Sanford making a pass on Philip Bridgman, who is not for position, but Tristan Helf, he goes to the lead, passing up Brody Folliger.
And Tristan deciding use up his tires just a little bit, make the move, get out front. You want to be the driver in the cleanest air possible, and a nice job by our Iowa pole sitter and the dominant car for the first half of that race to get himself into clean air here at Dover. And now such a blessing when you're at this track with all these cars. The track is full, Eliza, so to be able to find any amount of clean air here, you're definitely going to take the opportunity to get there. Nice job by Tristan to get by Brody and put himself out front.
He got by him, but it looks like Brody is going to try to make the pass once again. You can hear him shifting down in the corners for Tristan Helf. These guys trying to do whatever they can that gives them the more RPMs and a run off the exit here. Brody Folliger unable to do it right here, but I'll tell you what, he's got a ton of speed. He's got a win so far this season, but Tristan Helf, he's looking for redemption from last week. I mean, it was not a race that he was really happy about, and he's got 2 to 3 wins already, so he's looking at, looks like, for win number 3 if he can do it.
Absolutely. He's got a very fast race car. He ran in the top 5 for this first part of the run, came down just in front of the leaders and used that speed, used the new tires, that time advantage you gain, even the couple of laps, even like 2 or 3 laps that he had, to jump the 42, jump the 29 and 37 to get to the lead. A nice job so far as he tries to work on the lap car of Matt Burgess in front of him. Not, got to be careful with that too.
Oh yeah. I mean, any car out here is just going to put a wrench in your plan here. It can allow the drivers behind you to catch up. You have the dirty air floating in front of you on your nose. It's just not a position you want to be in. And he's got a lot of traffic up ahead that all of these drivers are going to have to deal with eventually. But how much is it going to hurt you? Is that driver going to pull over for you and not the next driver? I mean, there's just so many different circumstances, but lap 113 of 160. This race is flying by. We've had several different winners. Right now, Tristan Helf, Brody Folliger, and Evan Adams are going to be your top 3.
And Andrew Sanford is still lurking, one of the fastest cars in that first run, Eliza. He's not that far off the 29, so don't count out that Smirnoff Toyota just yet. Although with him blinking, I'd cross your fingers on that. Austin Mitty a bit further back in that Presidente Margarita Chili's car, aka the Ride the Dente car.
Heck yeah.
Running P5, and again, like we mentioned, another driver who rookie here, started out strong, and it's a matter of if not when. We both have said it, that it's going to take just one race for Austin to get a win, but right now running about a straightaway behind the race leaders. They're into 3 while he was exiting 2, so he's got a bit of a gap to make up if he wants to try to get to the lead there and try to take it out at the hands of Tristan Helf.
Absolutely. And take a look at who's behind Austin Mitty. Is going to be Thomas Harmon. He has lost 5 spots from where he started. Remember, he is on Wi-Fi. He's not holding a great connection right now, so him even being in this race is pretty solid, I would say. But I know in points he is second. He is locked in. He's locked into the chase, I should say, but he's 127 to the good. He would love to see another win. I'm not sure that tonight's going to happen with how his internet is acting out there, but solid run for him so far.
Absolutely, and that weighs on your mind when you have a connection that's not the best, And he did a great job. He got out he started from the front, led early, got the bonus point for leading, and then just dropped back into the field and preserved his car, and right now he's got a couple seconds. He's kind of in no man's land when it comes to positions. He does have the lapped car of Jordan McGraw in front of him as Philip Bridgman comes off pit road after making his second stop of the night. But he's got a bit of a gap back to John Velocity there in P7, so he's got a nice little pocket kind of riding around right now.
Yeah, take a look. I mean, these guys are really spread out right now, and right behind John is going to be Joseph Turley. That is going to be for P17, and then we're going to have 16 of Michael J. Adams behind him. So these guys are just kind of spread out in different positions all over the track. Craig Meyer is going to be in another little island of his own with Francis Hamilton, who's in 8th. So again, these guys are all over in different positions throughout the field.
Yeah, and right now, the last car on the lead lap was the last car to come to, or one of the last cars to come to pit road, I should say, the number 23, Jose Ruiz, running in the 10th position. Not at all surprised that we have only 10 cars still on the lead lap as Luke Allen trying to hang on to that as he battles Tristan Helf. And I'm telling you, that's the only thing that's doing is allowing the 42 of Brody Folliker to close back in as the 7 tries to stay on the lead lap. He's fighting hard. He doesn't want to go a lap down, but Tristan with the momentum off of 4. He can't clear the 7 down into 1.
Yeah, he cannot, and I'm kind of curious how frustrating it is for him to not be able to clear that 7. I mean, he's going to lose that time to Brody Folliker, which is exactly what he doesn't want to see. Meanwhile, Luke Allen, he's got every right to fight to not go that lap down, but unfortunately it has happened. Tristan has made it by. Then we'll see, will Luke Allen fight Brody Folliker on this, or will he just let him on by? That's the different facets of racing and how it goes. It's just where your luck ends up.
If you're Luke Allen, I don't know if you fight it too hard. I would kind of just try to let the leaders, if you can, find a way to let the leaders go, but then tuck back in and ride with them. Let them pull you. I know the draft's not a major thing. This isn't a plate track where you could, let the draft help you that much. We see Brody work his way by, but his best bet would be maybe to just kind of hold with the leader. Right now, he is the lucky dog. He's in that position, and if he falls in line behind Evan Adams, they'll eventually tow him up to Jose Ruiz, because Ruiz not pulling away from Tristan Helf. Tristan took almost 2/10 off him here. So unbelievable, just the pace, because Jose was one of the last cars to pit. I would have expected him, once he got by the leaders, to just drive away, but it's not happened for him right now. Tristan's almost reeling him back in.
You can see him right behind Jose Ruiz. Tristan Helf just on a monumental run here, just doing a fabulous job. Brody Folliker, he is about just over half a second behind him. Evan Adams, another driver with a phenomenal run. Andrew Stanford, I could say the same about him. I mean, he led several laps, had a fantastic run, great in practice. He led 34 laps so far. If he can bring home a P4 finish, I mean, that is just a great race for him, and he's been so consistent. It's been fun to watch him out here.
Absolutely, and like I said earlier, if Sanford didn't have bad luck, he'd have had none the way his season's gone. It seems like he's always been in the wrong place at the wrong time, but this season, but all it takes is a few solid runs here and there, and this is one of the better ones we've seen out of that 37, and he's making the most of it, he's hanging around that top 3. Anything could happen in this race, so you don't know if he's backed off his tires trying to save after the first run. He got out to that lead and then fell, or he's just settled in, but either way, a really nice run as we approach 30 laps to go.
30 laps to go, and I got to ask you, Matt, with Andrew Stanford, he's sitting P15 in the chase for the run for it, minus 42 below the cutoff line. Now, Brendan Book, he's 13th, but he did not show tonight. If Andrew finishes where he's at now, P4, how much do you think he's going to go up in points as far as the chase cutoff goes?
Well, how many is he behind? The question is, how far is he behind Brendan? Because if Sanford can finish where he is right now, a P4 finish, would be, I believe, about 33, 34 points. So Sanford, if he's within that range, he could leap up over Brendan Book. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the gap is right now. So Sanford could potentially jump up, but I'm not sure about the points gap from him to Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan Book is -4 and Andrew Sanford is -42. So it's going to be close. That's going to be very, very close.
It'll close that gap to that cut line down, and going to Daytona, all it will take is one move, at one place in the track, and it's the ultimate. It is an ultimate equalizer, especially if we get a late race restart at the World Center of Racing. But right now, Andrew's doing everything he can to give himself the best shot off to Daytona for the regular season finale.
Tristan Health back on board with our leader. He stayed in 5th around that corner. He's right behind Jose Ruiz, of which he's raced with for years and years. And you can see Tristan going down to 4th, but I'm curious how he's going to manage to get around this traffic. You can see him taking that high line. Jose staying down low. So, man, it's just so close. And take a look at how much Tristan is on that wheel, trying to keep that car underneath him. Then we're heading straight into 3 that has all those bumps that can really upset the car and wear down those tires. Brody, meanwhile, he has stayed pretty consistently behind him, about half a second behind.
Yeah, and he's just waiting for it. And look, going on board with him, he was in 5th gear all the way to the middle part of the corner, Eliza, and then he kicked it to 4th to get the car to have better drive off. So, interesting strategy, because it's either we've seen these drivers immediately down to 4th on entry or shortly after they get down in the corner, and Brody is waiting to the midpoint of the corner where he gets back in the power to be in 4th. Didn't think about that, honestly. That's actually not a bad idea, and right now it's allowing him to stay within shouting distance of that 38 car out front.
Yeah, they're staying pretty consistent. Meanwhile, Evan Adams, he is starting to fall back a little bit. He is about 1.6 back, and it seems to be just falling just a little bit lap after lap. Andrew Sanford, he's about 4 seconds back, but he's in P4 with a 3-second gap between him and Austin Mitty. So great finishes if they can secure those in the end, but they are definitely falling back. I'm not sure that they're going to have enough to try to catch up to our leader, but Brody, take a look at this. Just since we last spoke about him, he has gained 2/10 about catching up, as Tristan really dealing with this traffic, and it is just not going well for him as they're going 3 wide. Tristan is trying not to lose anything, but man, oh man, not what you want to see.
There it is. I figured that might happen. He got middle 3, and you could tell he really wanted to make that pass stick, and he just couldn't do it. And now Tristan blocks him down into turn 3, trying to hang on. And the problem is Brody, like, the best way to go would be to that outside line to try to get go with Jose Ruiz. The problem is dirty air. Brody right now kind of in no man's land. He's trying to get the drive off this time. Tristan! He had a mega run off of turn number 2 and almost hooked the 38 trying to make that pass. There was about 3/4 of a car width in between the 38 and the wall, and Brody had that pressure stand on the brakes to not turn the 38 and bring out our first caution of the day. That was close.
I'll tell you what, it was very close, and I know Tristan Helf, he's got to be extremely frustrated with the lap traffic right now.
With Jose.
Yeah, Jose, I know these two have known each other forever, but I'll tell you what, I'm sure there was some words over the radio, and I know they're in the same team chat, so I know there's a lot going on right now. But Tristan, after last week, he's got to be so frustrated. Last week, he had no one to blame but himself for what happened. He wrecked into the barrier, trying to come into pit lane after blowing a tire. Tonight, lap traffic might be his demise, and it might save Brody and allow him to get the win here. 143 of 160 is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, and Jose's got, like you said earlier when Luke Allen was fighting, like Jose's got every right to fight here. He has to stay on the lead lap in case of a caution. So he's got every right to race Tristan like he's racing for the win right now, because late yellow comes out. This could be the difference between giving himself a chance and being at the tail end of the longest line when we would go back green. Tristan trying everything, looking low, looking high, looking middle, trying to diamond the corner, and he just doesn't quite have it because, again, Jose pitted later than most everybody. I think the only driver to go longer on tires was Jordan McGraw on the 34. This might help him, though. The 3-car of Michael Adams, 3 wide into 3. Tristan trying to get clear off turn 4. Not going to do it, and here comes Brody Folliker again, and if you're Tristan, I've been in his position, not at this track, but I've been in his position. It is mind-numbingly infuriating when you cannot find your way around a lap car, and the second place is all over you because you want to go, you want to clear him, you want to just get the lap car out of the way and get by him, but it's all a delicate balancing act. It's so easy to overdrive, and right now Tristan's actually doing a really nice job balancing bouncing on that knife's edge, trying to get Jose a lap down, but also hold Brody off.
Yeah, he's got to be extremely frustrated. At this point, both of them. Brody's probably like, come on, we got to get past him. I want to battle it out with you. And Tristan, it just wants to get past Jose. I mean, they've been battling it out for lap after lap. So it's got to be very frustrating for several drivers involved. But, man, I'll tell you what, just going 3 wide, that really allowed Brody to catch up. And you can see him right on his bumper. Now, the question is he going to really try to pass him right here as he's trying to pass Jose? It's just going to be very, very tight. And how much tire are you willing to waste trying to do this right now?
That's true, and I'll tell you somebody who's not hating what Jose's doing right now, that 29 of Evan Adams, because he's just slowly, as Brody looks to the inside off of 4, can't get there, but Evan's just like, no, guys, you go do this, you fight, you try to pass Jose, and they're gaining on him, but they can't pass him, and it's keeping that 29 in range if some chaos breaks out with these two as Brody dives to the inside in turn 3 trying to get the lead. Evan's right there. He's in the catbird seat if these two have a problem.
Yeah, he's still gaining, and it's just, man, it is just so tough. And Tristan, he's been running on that bottom line, and since Jose was down there, he was trying the middle, the top, and he's lost so much time trying to find a different line to not get that aero tightness, and it's just so unfortunate that I know he's got to be very frustrated. But Brody Folliker, he's giving him a run for his money also. He's taken that low line, but you can see it is hard to pass here at Dover. I mean, these tires are hurting right now. 9 laps to go. We're under 10 laps now. Evan Adams is catching up. This very well may be a 3-car battle for the win.
Yeah, and right now, ironically, the best thing for Tristan Health might be that 23 starting to pull away just a bit, because it's going to give him the clean air and the ability to go where he needs to go to defend against the 42 behind him. The problem is Jose's not gaining enough. He probably wants Jose to be up with Jimmy right now and just go. He's like, run away, leave me alone. But it's just even a few car lengths, it could be the difference. And you can see him running kind of a diamond in 1 and 2. Brody trying to run a little lower, trying to gain ground back. And they're catching that 23 again. So are we going to have a sim racing repeat of Richmond where we had the leader, a Ford, being chased down by somebody at the end of the race, but having to deal with lap traffic?
Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know that we've had this much of a battle with lap cars being in the way throughout this entire season. I mean, this is wild. And take a look at what they're going through. Meanwhile, trying to drive through that, you can just see the cars just bouncing everywhere. They don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing. It is giving these drivers a run for their money. And David says, man, this race has gone by real quick. And talking about that battle earlier with lap traffic, he says, talk about bad timing. And truer words have never been spoken. It's just absolute insanity. We're coming up 5 to go, coming down to 4 to go. It's coming down to the wire, guys.
Yeah, and Tristan again trying to lap Jose down into 1. Jose again. He's got the right to defend that spot. I don't know if we'll be able to do it this time. And here comes Brody, 38 slips. No, and there it goes. Brody Folliker to the race lead. The question is, now he's going to have to deal with the 23 out front as here comes the 38 back at him.
Yeah, this is intense, guys. The 42 trying to get to his second win of the season. Tristan Helf trying to get to his third win of a season after last week dominating at Iowa and unfortunately hitting the barriers, and he's into the wall. Did he blow? He didn't blow a tire, but something is going tragically wrong for that 38 car.
Yeah, 2 to go right, we are down to 2 laps to go. He is on the back of the 42. 42 having problems, though, behind that 23. As Craig Meyer slow on the back straightaway. He's off the track down into turn number 3. Jose maybe trying to give his teammate a little bit of a hand, but the white flag is up for Brody Folliker.
Can he make it to this season? Trying to get it here at Dover and Michigan earlier in the season. This is absolute insanity. How close this has been. Tristan Helf hard into the wall. That is going to allow Brody to start to get away. 3/10 back is Tristan Helf. Brody Folliker coming around the corner for the final time. He's going to cross the line as the winner here at Dover Motor Speedway. Tristan Helf in second, and we're going to bring Evan Adams home in third. What a race. Oh my gosh. I'm a little scared, Matt, to get an interview from Tristan, I will say.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. Yeah, unfortunate. That's unfortunate for him. I really thought that Jose might try to help him back there because he was covering the 42 to try to stay there. But Jose, man, no favors for your longtime buddy there from Jose. I mean, you have the right to fight it, but man, oh man, Tristan probably not best pleased with his friend right there for that because. Definitely, all it came down to, Eliza, was Tristan making one mistake off to trying to lap Brody, or not trying to lap Brody, excuse me, trying to lap the 23. Brody jumped to his outside, made the pass down the back straightaway clean, all because of that little slip. So, unfortunate for Tristan Helf as Brody Folliker gets his second win of the season.
Yeah, what a win. I mean, I don't think that could be any more action-packed than it was. I mean, that was absolute insanity. You think you know something and something's going to happen, and they just went complete opposite way. But man, what a run from these guys. Just so much talent. It flew by, David. I know it did. It's absolute craziness, but they did a fantastic job.
Absolutely they did. For them to go another race clean, Eliza. That's now 2 races in a row back-to-back in Shake and Bake that we have not had a caution flag. That's extremely impressive considering that Iowa and Dover are not the easiest racetracks to race at.
Absolutely. Let's try to get these guys in the booth. We have Brody Folliker winning the race out there. We're going to get him in here. Just incredible time, and I don't see Tristan available to talk to, so I know he's got to be a little frustrated out there. We'll see, but Evan Adams in the booth. Man, Brody, take us through those final laps and how it was trying to get through that traffic.
That was that was definitely interesting. I really didn't think I'd have anything for Tristan. So I don't know. It legitimately felt like to me and Sandy once we came back out on the track that like we didn't even swap our tires. Like they felt the exact same. And here comes, Evan and Tristan, and we're like, what is going on, because they're flying. So like I'm having to overdrive the car so much. Like I'm just burning whatever I have left. to try to stay with him and have a chance. And luckily, he couldn't get around Jose. That helped a whole lot. And I just caught him in a bad spot when he was trying to go around. He was worried about a lap car instead of me. So, I mean, that's basically it. I really didn't think that on straight pace, I think he would have got me by quite a bit. But since the lap traffic was there, the dirty air was there, it helped. And, I waited patiently, for something to happen. And luckily he slipped up.
Man, oh man, what a battle tonight. I mean, it was a phenomenal run. You led 37 laps. Take us through what was the hardest part of the track for you. I know some drivers were complaining about coming out of turn 2 or going into turn 3. So, what was the toughest part for you?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I only had like 5 minutes of practice. Like, I got into the session really early, and then my PC crashed. So
Oh,
I came back with like 5 minutes before qualifying, and first few laps, 1 and 2 felt fine. It was a little tight off of 2, and 3 and 4 was super tight. You had to back up 3 really hard to even arc it back down to hit the exit off of 4. That was probably the toughest part. It was just really tight.
yeah. We've heard that from a lot of drivers. And you won at Michigan. Dover, you win. Do you have any more in mind that you can win at this season?
I I haven't looked at the schedule, but I honestly feel like I could probably win it, any of the tracks left.
Nice.
I'm really, really glad that I finally got a Dover win. I have been second, especially in this league. I have been second like what feels like every single Dover race. I lost to Honeycutt. I lost to I Honeycutt's the one that sticks into my mind. But I lost to Jim. I've lost. I'm just glad to have finally won at Dover. I love this place.
Well, no longer a bridesmaid. You won here at Dover, did a fantastic job. And I'll tell you what, you had our hearts racing in the booth. I mean, the battle for the end was absolutely incredible. So great job, great win. And this is coming from Xfinity champion, too. So do you have your sights set on a championship this season?
I'm not gonna lie. This is honestly think Jim is the guy to beat. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say I'm missing the last race of the season. So unless I have a huge points gap entering that season, I don't see a way,
Oh, man.
that I end up winning that. It's unfortunate, and we're gonna try our best in the playoffs and see if we can maybe somehow get like a 40-point gap, heading into. But
It's going to be tough.
it's gonna be tough. So we'll just see what happens. I think Jim's the man to beat for the championship.
Fair enough. Well, great job tonight. Fantastic win. It was fun watching you guys out there.
Thank you.
All right, Matt. I don't think let me do another check in here, but I do not think we
I'll-
have Tristan.
Nope. Nope. So we'll interview Evan Adams for the second straight week. Evan, you're up here in the booth with me and Eliza. Congratulations on the strong P3 run. Looked like you were going to have something for the front guys early. Got to the lead for a while as well. Take us through the last half of that last run for you. And were you experiencing the same sort of fall off that like Brody and Sanford were on their tires?
Yes, I for sure did, but I didn't feel it until like later in the run. Obviously, I got the lead there. It seemed like Brody was just chilling behind me and keeping a pace. But yeah, he ended up passing me right before the pit stops, and I actually missed the pits.
Ooh.
And yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I missed the pits. And then I actually just went the next time around, so that cost me a couple seconds. I had to burn some more tires to catch up to them, and they were stuck in lap traffic, and I still couldn't. I had nothing for them. I mean, yeah. So
I mean, to get all the way back to within about at one point you were within I think a second and a half of them while Brody and Tristan tried to work their way past the 23 of Jose Ruiz there, that lap car in front of them. You must have been getting a little excited seeing them get stuck there for a few laps because the gap from you to them came down and down and down, and if they had stayed fighting for a few more laps, it looked like you might have had something for them. But take us through the early part of the race, Evan, because you had a really fast Chevrolet early on to be able to go up there and take on, Thomas Harmon, Tristan Health, Brody Folliker, some guys in this league that are phenomenally quick on tracks like this.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a pattern. This is the third week in a row where actually, I should say second. Iowa, I qualified 14th. Here, I qualified 9th or 10th. And then it feels like I'm burning my tires up too flat. Like, oh, everyone else is chilling. But obviously, that wasn't the case. I was just a little faster, and I got on the right rear, and I think that's my favorite pass. Just getting on that right rear, entering the turn there, and then it's pretty much over coming off. And yeah, so I had a really fast car, and I'm really grateful. Had a little bit of practice and got a third.
And in your chase for the points here, Evan, a phenomenal run to you actually jumped. The points are updated. You jumped up to 9th in points. You're now 22 clear of the cut line over 13th place Luke Allen. Going to Daytona next week, what are your thoughts headed to the World Center of Racing?
That it for sure gives me confidence that no matter what happens at Daytona, I will be okay. Obviously, we're going in there to win and even probably catch 8th or so in the chase, get as many points, what's called a points advantage for placement entering the chase. So that will be interesting. And yeah, still going for the win, but just first make the chase.
A good way to handle it, going to a chaotic plate race. So thank you for sitting here talking to us, Evan. Congratulations again on the P3, and we'll see you next week at Daytona.
All right. See you guys. Thank you.
Well, Eliza, how about that for a finish?
That was a crazy finish, crazy last several laps. But like I said, they had my heart racing out here, and I guarantee for you guys watching the stream, I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Wild race, wild ending. Next week, we're headed to Daytona, back to a super speedway. Some people love it, some drivers hate it. We'll see how it goes next week, but we'll see you same time, same day, Monday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys take it easy. See you next time.
Take care, everyone.